going on, everybody? I go by the name of Curry, and I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on SneakerPhetish. Guys, I'm excited about today because we're taking a look at a brand new Air Jordan silhouette that we've actually never taken a look at on the channel before, but I've always been wanting to get just the right pair in here so that we can take an in-depth look at it. And this sneaker, I think, is the perfect introduction to the Air Jordan 34 to the family and to the channel. We're gonna start with the packaging today because it's really elaborate. I really like what they did with this new player edition Air Jordan 34 series that they've been coming out with. Now, if you're not that hip, Air Jordan recently came out with 3 new Air Jordan player edition sneakers that you would normally only see on the player's feet, but wouldn't generally be available to the public. Jordan Brand decided to give us access into 3 new player edition sneakers. One for Zion Williamson, the coloring book that was really fly. One for Rui Hachimura, the Japanese-born player playing for the Washington Wizards right now, and his had some really fly design elements on it. And then today's sneaker, which is the JAYSON Tatum Air Jordan 34. Now, starting off with the box here, you can already see the theming on the front of the box. Underneath that Air Jordan 34 logo, you have this animal print all over the box here. Now, on one side of the box, you have a black Jumpman. On the other side of the box, you actually have JAYSON Tatum's personal logo. Now, we're gonna see that logo again. My favorite part of the packaging here actually is the drawer. Now, there's a drawer style box, but as you can see, it looks like fangs. It looks like an animal fang or an animal's mouth. And again, with the animal theming, you already know that we're taking a look at the Jordan 34 Zoo. You undo the flaps on the side of the box here, you pull out the drawer, and the first thing that you'll notice is that you have more animal print. This is kind of like zebra print on the inside of the paper. So they really went all out with the packaging on each one of these player edition sneakers. Boom. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Air Jordan 34 Zoo by JAYSON Tatum. Now, if you're not familiar with JAYSON Tatum, Boston Celtics, phenom of a player, breakout basketball player, but still super young. If you guys follow JAYSON Tatum throughout his career, you know that he actually excelled in pretty much every step along the way of his career in basketball, leading up to him getting drafted. He was a breakout even when he was young, middle school, high school. He was always a breakout star, and he always looked up to LeBron James, even went to the LeBron James Academy. Now, what's crazy is that he's in the league now playing against LeBron, even though they're, I think, 14 years apart from one another. So it's wild to actually be able to play with your idols at this point. But I honestly think that JAYSON Tatum is poised to take on that legend category himself one day. First impressions of this sneaker here, man, really clean. And the funny thing about it is, I normally don't even like the sneakers with the animal prints all over them. I'm not really a big fan of the fur on the sneakers like that. It's just a little bit off-putting to me, and I don't know. But on this particular sneaker, I like the fact that there's not too much, and that it's offset by some really nice color blocking and some really good material. Now, this particular sneaker was influenced a lot by his son, Jason Christopher Tatum Jr. They call him Deuce. He mentioned that when he was a kid, he always liked to go to the zoo when he was in Australia, and his son loves going to the zoo a lot now and is really fearless when it comes to actually looking at the animals up close, wanting to touch them, wanting to pet them, feed them, things of that nature. So all of the elements of this shoe had a lot to do with his son Deuce. We'll take a little closer look at that as well. Now, the sneaker's color blocking also pays a lot of homage to Jason's hometown, which is also my hometown of St. Louis, Missouri. Now, that's why I really wanted to make sure I got my hands on this particular pair, because of the elements of St. Louis that are woven throughout the sneaker as well. But before I get too deep into it, let's take a closer look at the shoe. Now, the dope thing about the Air Jordan 34, like I said, it's a new silhouette that we haven't really looked at the channel, so I want to run down a few facts to you guys while we look at it. First things first, it features full-length zoom underneath the sneaker here, which is really dope. We'll take a look at that. This is also the lightest basketball sneaker that's available on the market right now. A size 9, only weighs 13 ounces. I think 13.1 to be exact. So it's actually an incredibly light sneaker. But the traction patterns on the shoe, we'll take a look at the outsole as well, really prove effective when on the court. But getting into this sneaker in particular here, let's start here with where the shoelaces are, with where the eyelets are. Now, this is actually on the side of the eyelets at the top of the quarter panels here. You have this really dope cheetah print going all the way up, and what looks like lace loops actually at the top of the tongue here, kind of parallel with the top of the tongue. Now, you can see that that's where the bovine fur starts here. Now, if you don't know what bovine is, it's basically cattle. Now, this sneaker is sourced from cattle over in Brazil, and they dye the bovine fur. So this isn't actual cheetah fur. This is regular fur from a cow, for instance, that they go ahead and dye with all of these different animal prints and colors on it. Speaking of those animal prints here, you have the zebra print on the back of the heel here in that bovine fur fur as well. And you'll notice here that that zebra print is actually strewn throughout the mesh netting on both the lateral and medial side of the shoe here. It's faint, but you actually can see it. The zebra print is actually inside of the shoe here because the mesh is actually translucent. You can see straight through it. You can see my finger right there straight through it. But moving further down the quarter panels into the toe box of the shoe here, you notice that that zebra print is there as well. Taking a top down look at the sneaker here. Now this is the right sneaker we're looking at, and right on the tongue, you have this really interesting iridescent tab on the top, and then you have the regular Air Jordan Jumpman and Flight on the tongue in red. On the left shoe, you actually get the JT, the Jayson Tatum logo in red right there on the tongue. Now I actually thought that these laces were 3M, but unfortunately they're not 3M, but a really dope design element is the Dubré at the bottom of the laces here that has that same kind of fang emblem that you saw on the drawer of the box. Another interesting element to point out here is that on the lateral side of the sneaker, the mesh netting is white. On the medial side of the sneaker, the mesh netting is black. I even like this little plastic emblem here with the Jumpman in here, the little plastic here on the lateral side of the shoe down here by the toe. I don't know, it's just certain elements here that I think are just really, really fly. On the back of the tongue here, you can actually see Deuce. That's a nickname for his son again, stitched in red as well. Moving out of the midsole of the shoe, you have this regular white midsole that's offset by this chromed out red that's inside of where those zoom units are in the sneaker, both in the back of the foot and in the midfoot moving forward to the front of the foot. Looks really, really futuristic. I love the design of the Air Jordan 34, I'm not gonna lie, and I actually didn't think I would be that much of a fan of it because I definitely was not a fan of the 33 and that little locking system that they had in there. I'm glad they got rid of that, but the design of the 34, I just think is really slick. I really like the silhouette. Moving around to the back of the shoe here, now you got more animal print here against the bovine fur, and then stitched in back, it says, "Welcome to the zoo." Now, if you want my personal opinion, I think that there's a double meaning in this sneaker here. Of course, it has to do with Jayson Tatum liking to take his son Deuce to the zoos, but I also think it has to do with the animalistic instinct that a lot of players have on the court as well. On the outsole of the Air Jordan 34, you can actually see the Zoom branding going all the way down the sneaker, down into the back of the foot, into the heel here, with that Jumpman emblem right in the middle. Another really dope design element of the Air Jordan 34 is this J4 to 34, 289 to 19 written down here, kind of in this almost Morse code looking print here, this really futuristic looking print. That, of course, is made to commemorate the 30th anniversary of the Jordan 4 in 1989, all the way to 2019 when the Air Jordan 34 was originally released. So it's interesting, the Air Jordan 34 is actually telling more little hidden details and hidden stories about Michael Jordan himself, while telling a bigger story about the basketball players that are represented in each model of the Air Jordan 34. I love how Jordan Brand always puts a little bit of element of Mike into all of their sneakers that they're making. Last but not least, on the insole of the sneaker here, you have this white insole, and against that you have this red STL, again paying homage to Jason and my hometown of St. Louis, Missouri. That white and red also may be a nod to the St. Louis Cardinals because the baseball team in St. Louis's colors are red and white, of course. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the Air Jordan 34 Zoo. Now, again, I really like the shoe. I thought that it was dope. Now, unfortunately, it's kind of a shame that they had to put the player edition watch branding on it to kind of give it that hype and exclusivity, making people want to drive up the hype and buy it a little bit more. I feel like if this wasn't a Jayson Tatum shoe, a lot less people would probably be interested in it, similar to the Zion Williamson. If it was just an Air Jordan 34 that said coloring book on it, but didn't have Zion Williamson attached to it, people probably wouldn't buy that. Now, these sold out pretty quickly. I haven't seen too many people actually wearing them, so I'm not sure why people are buying these sneakers if they're not really wearing them that much, or maybe they're just waiting to rock them with just the right outfit. I'm not sure. But what I will say is that I don't know if it's the nod to St. Louis. Like, I don't really know what it is about the way that they put it together, but I'm gonna tell you like this. I like these a lot, and I actually didn't think that I would. I was prepared to come on here and tell you guys these are kind of trash, but they're not bad. Now, call me crazy, and this is your time to call me crazy. Now, I want you guys to let me know what you think about the Air Jordan 34 Jayson Tatum down in the comments below. Are these ones that you guys went for? Did you take an L on them? I know a lot of us have been taking L's on Sneakers app lately, myself included. I was kind of impressed actually when I got these because I've been taking a lot of L's lately. So feel free to vent out your frustrations down in the comments below as well. Or let me know if these were a hard pass for you. If you're not a Jayson Tatum fan, or if you're just not a fan of the Air Jordan 34 Zoo, let me know why down in the comments below. I'm interested to hear your opinions on these. Of course, right down in the comments, make sure that you click on that subscribe button so we can welcome you into the Sneaker Fetish family to make sure you don't miss out on any more heat that comes through like these, because I guarantee you, I got a lot more heat on the way. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Fetish, taking a look at these with me, unboxing them with me for a couple of minutes. I go by the name of Kari. This is the Air Jordan 34 Zoo by JAYSON Tatum. And until next time, I'm out.